I think that Xerneas and Yveltal will get new forms, but not Megas. I think their new forms will be Primal Xerneas and Primal Yveltal. Now, last time we were in Kalos, we got two Primal forms for Kyogre and Groudon. So what is stopping us from getting new Primals? Now, Primal Energy isn't just specific to Kyogre and Groudon, like a lot of people do think. It's possibly out of reach for every single Pokemon ever, but not to the important ones like Legendaries. The red and blue orbs are what allowed Kyogre and Groudon to access their ancient primal energy. What if we were introduced to two new items like the Branch of Life and the Shell of Death, for example? I came up with these names obviously because Xerneas and Yveltal represent life and death, but why a branch and why a shell? I chose branch because when Xerneas is resting it turns into a tree, pretty self-explanatory. The Shell of Death is because when Yveltal's in its resting state, it turns into a cocoon. The Shell of Death represents the shell that Yveltal will leave behind once it leaves its cocoon form. I'll admit that they could just introduce two more types of orb objects, but these new objects would be pretty cool. The lore behind them being that the branch came from Xerneas' tree back when it was still flowing with primal energy. It's the last thing that can bring Xerneas back to its ancient form. Similarly, with Yveltal's relic, it's a small piece of Yveltal when it was resting in its cocoon for thousands of years. It contains primal energy to also revert Yveltal. I think they could introduce these legends in a special way using primal reversions. A lot of people assume the new Quasartico ink is evil, so I'll just run with that theory.